So good morning. This is PLDeere with Sendo Cards. I'm a relationship marketing expert, and I've been doing these weekly hope, healing, and happiness kind of interviews as a way to kind of counteract some of the negativity that I find in the world around me. And it was kind of fun. I ran into somebody who I knew from my church when she was younger, and I was raising my kids, and we kind of reconnected. And Catherine is my guest today, and I'm not going to tell you a whole lot about her. I'm going to let her share who she is and what she does, and then we'll go ahead and get into the interview. So I'm really happy to have you, Catherine. Thank you so much for joining me, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm Catherine Sala. I am an attorney in downtown Adrian. I've been in private practice for 10 years. I have been doing some mediations for the last 4 or 5 years probably. And that has taken me down a different road. And at this point, I'm also running for Probate Court Judge against the sitting judge, Greg Iddings. So that's keeping me busy. But yes, I know you from St. Joseph's Shrine out in Irish Hills, and it's a pleasure to get to know you on a different, sort of on a different level. I'm a little taller, slightly.
Exactly.
Not much.
Exactly. It's kind of fun. It's fun to reconnect for sure. So let's just go ahead and get into where do you see hope?
So much of my life has been devoted to my education and also my career. So I'm 35 and I have been an attorney, like I said, for 10 years. I'm in my 10th year. I went to Lenawee Christian and graduated from there, went to Western and then to Cooley, and just got right down and started practice with my dad. So I do a lot of family law, and I didn't start out that way, but that's sort of where my path has led me. I do a ton of divorce cases, custody cases, abuse and neglect cases, and it's rewarding because it's a place where I can step into a situation where somebody's in a crisis or the family's in crisis and in transition, and try to offer them some hope that what's happening is not the end of the world. It doesn't have to be a destructive, totally destructive process. It can just be a series of changes that can really be opportunities. Part of the reason I got into mediation and some of these alternative dispute resulation processes is because it's easier on families. It's more focused on problem solving rather than the conflict itself, which sometimes in litigation is really, that's a lot of what people complain about. We're really good at taking families apart. We're really not good at all at putting them together or teaching them how to function once we've deconstructed them. So these processes of mediation and some parenting time coordinating and stuff is really hopeful for the future, because that's working on, all right, where do we go from here? We know we don't want it, we know we have to get the divorce, but we have got these kids together and we love our kids, and it's all about finding that common goal and using the tools available to you to help the next generation. And that's really brought a lot of hope to an area of the law that can be really, really depressing and difficult for families and for litigants.
That's kind of interesting. It's probably going to go right into the healing question. How do you find healing? Are you a part of that process then? Is that what you find?
Yes. I'm always very much involved in my cases and sort of with the people that come into my life, no matter where they are. So helping them heal during the process has sort of always been a sort of a healing process for me too. On a personal level, and we've talked about this before, on a personal level, what I love is yoga, right? So we go to the church, we've got all of our people in our lives that are good for us and help during the process of healing. That's a really great physical way to bring inner peace and refocus and sort of try to shut out some of the noise. And that allows that process of healing to take place for me.
Yeah, exactly. And, you said that's on a personal level, but I find all of these questions and everything that I'm asking absolutely goes into our business life as well. If we're not doing well on a personal level, we're not doing well in our business either. And I absolutely have to do similar things for myself, to keep me focused and on track. So happiness, when do you find the most happiness?
Outdoors. I love to be outside, and we live in Michigan, right? So that's not always the easiest process, but if you got the guts to bundle up and get out there, then It's a really rewarding, happy place to be. It's beautiful. I live on the lake out at Devil's Lake, and to wake up and look at that water, I've got so many windows across the front of my house because it's an amazing feeling to be able to look out there and see that peaceful process, or the diving ducks. It's just an amazing place to be if you can get outside and sit on the deck and share those experiences with the people that you care about as well. That's what makes me really happy.
Mm-hmm. It's fun because we talked about this previous too. In Michigan, weather can sometimes be problematic. And even though it was really cold and snowy and rainy the other day, I got out and I went hiking anyway. Yesterday it was snowing, and it's just something we deal with. And if you don't embrace what you have around you, it makes it hard to enjoy it.
Yes.
So I think it's good that you recognize that. So the last thing, what do you do consistently, whether it's business or personal life, every day that helps you in some way? And you might have answered part of this already.
Right. Well, my days change constantly. So I'm in private practice. I'm self-employed. My day could start going right into court hearings or client meetings or just office work. And the campaign is taking me into the community and different community events that are amazing, but they can be kind of a whirlwind of things. So what I try to do as part of that process, and good, bad, or otherwise, my mind's always sort of been very analytical. As far as I try to make sure that whatever it is I'm doing, I'm being true to myself, bringing my authentic self to whatever situation I'm in. I mean, everything I'm doing is putting myself out there to try to honestly and authentically engage with other people. I'm in the business of people. That's what my practice is. Mm-hmm. So as much as I can, I just try to make sure that I'm being me when I'm out there running around like a chicken's head cut off.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. That's kind of where that hope, healing, and happiness thing came for me. When we were going through a process in a workshop that I had been to, who are you? Who are you? Well, to me, it's hope, healing, and happiness, and that's what I try to bring to people. And I like the fact that you talked about being your authentic self, because when you do that, that's who you are, whether you're in business or whether in your personal life, and just people know who you are that way. So the other thing I want to share with you is I told you a little bit about the project that I'm pursuing for Art Prize in Grand Rapids. So I need people to share 2,000 cards of their stories of hope, healing, and happiness with me. So hopefully you'll do that. But beyond that, why don't you tell us how people can get a hold of you?
Great. So I have a good Facebook page. I like Facebook. I love to connect with people on Facebook. I've got a campaign page out there on Facebook as well. So that's a great way to contact me. I also have an office in downtown Adrian, right on Main Street. And so either way, it's great. I did want to share with you one other thing.
Sure.
And he kind of jumped down for a minute, but here he is. So this is also a really good example of what makes me happy every day. This is Bruiser, and he is a lot of the reason that I brave the elements.
Exactly. I love it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm guessing he's not always that quiet.
He's pretty good. He always has to check and see who comes in the door. He's got to go investigate, but. Mm-hmm. For the most part, he's pretty. I don't know if the neighbors would agree with me. He's usually pretty good.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining me here. If you don't mind staying on for a little bit when I'm done, I'm going to stop this recording, and we'll talk for a bit. Thanks, Catherine.
Great.